Okay, so this video is going to be about the broken windows theory. It is conducted by James Q. Wilson, who concluded that the extent to which a community regulates itself has a dramatic impact on the crime and deviance. So the broken windows referred to in the theory's name is the idea that there is one broken window left unreplaced. If there is one, then there will be many. A broken window is a physical symbol that residents of a particular neighborhood do not especially care about that environment, and that there are low-level deviance and it's tolerated. The theory influenced policymakers on both sides of the Atlantic and famously in New York in the 1990s, to really make a change and increase policing, zero tolerance policing, I guess. Now, that allowed or paved the way for antisocial behaviour orders, as opposed to be carved out and dished out accordingly. So if you're listening to music particularly loud, if you're drunk outside your lawn or your front garden, anywhere where other people may feel uncomfortable, that's where the police will get involved and deal with the low-level crime, I guess. There's public decency, etc., etc. But the response was zero tolerance policy, where the criminal justice system took low-level crime and antisocial behaviour much more seriously than they had in the past. This included 3 strikes and you're out. That those policies where people could get serious custodial sentences for repeated minor offences such as unsolicited windscreen cleaning, prostitution, drunken disorderly behaviour. Now, what we do know about drunken disorderly behaviour or prostitution, again, prostitution isn't necessarily illegal in certain countries. It's not, especially like drunken disorderly behaviour, it is frowned upon, but a lot of university students do it. So why are they not necessarily being handed out as bows? That's one of the criticisms that we'll get to in a bit. The idea was that low-level crime should not be tolerated and severe penalties needed to be handed out for antisocial behaviour and minor crimes in order to deter more serious crime and ensure that collective conscience and social solidarity is maintained by clear boundary maintenance. Okay, this again helps with social cohesion, to, I guess, develop a community feeling, community looking after each other. If someone's doing something wrong, you sort it out within yourselves without having to inform the authorities, or not necessarily wasting their time, but allowing them to do, the real things that mattered, governing, the country. Now, the impact of the policy in New York, so this is going to be an AO3 for you guys. The impact of policing in New York appeared to be dramatic, with crime levels, including very serious crimes like murder, falling rapidly. Now, the fall was about 40%, there was a 40% drop in overall crime and over 50% in homicide. Fans of broken windows on the political right in America hailed this as a success, but there are 2 main criticisms. Firstly, the fans would be your new right, okay? Secondly, the policy coincided with a period of economic growth. So there was a reduction in poverty and an increase in economic growth. Those who feel that social conditions are a stronger driver of crime than broken windows suggest that crime rates in New York fell because the social conditions for people in New York significantly improved because of the growth in economy. As such, it is possible that it was purely a coincidence. So, coincidence, not really, that sociological. Can't really just say, oh, coincidence. But just because there was a correlation between the two, it doesn't mean that it was successful. Now, one of the major, I guess, AO3s that you can use is the fact that in terms of ethnicity and gender, we had a lot of Black or African, Caribbean and Asian, or in America, Hispanic young men being, incarcerated for many years because of the three strike system, or the, zero tolerance, but for minor things like being drunk and disorderly, like white middle class university students are, and it is tolerated. So some accuse broken windows of achieving control without justice. So the crime rates fell, yes, but people were in prison, sometimes serving long sentences for minor misdemeanors. Furthermore, there was evidence showing that the policy impacted much more heavily on minority groups, particularly African Americans and Latin Americans, than on the majority white population. While poor Black people might be arrested for public drunkenness or jaywalking, the same things were tolerated by white middle class students celebrating the start of freshman year, or here it will be Freshers Week or something. Therefore, police discretion makes the implementation of broken windows unjust. So police saying, oh, actually, this is what happened, and I'm going to excuse or justify this person being arrested and not the other. And we know issues with that, especially in the 90s. So supporters of the theory, however, would counter that with zero tolerance means zero tolerance, and white students shouldn't get away with public drunkenness either. How much of this actually happened in practice is not measurable, so not very scientific, and therefore sociological. Hopefully that was helpful.